And then you have one other Pac-12 team. That's my team. Who is it, Sam?
Quack, quack.
Well, Charles just gave it away. Oregon.
You weren't gonna answer.
I,
I
I
could tell.
was. You just
I
had
could
to give me a
tell.
second to think about it.
I ain't in the mood. I ain't hit the groove. I ain't hit the mood.
What's up, everybody? It is the A Win's a Win podcast. We're excited to be here today with you guys. We have a pretty good lineup of topics that we're going to cover. We'll be covering some college football, and we'll leave it at that for now because there's some different categories within it. Super excited. And we will also have a MattyB Bets segment that I'm doing a little bit of a tweak to. So not even Charles and Sam knows. I think it's really fun. Hopefully this time we actually keep the bets on like a spreadsheet or something so we can see if we actually would have made money, because for some reason our MLB ones I think we lost. So I mean we can go back and look, but unfortunate. Yeah. Also, hopefully the episode with the bubble blown boy Martin was fun. I heard it was a good MLB segment. I'm really upset that I missed it because my Diamondbacks did make it. And as of recording right now, they are winning by a run. So I'm pretty excited for that. Haven't seen them play in like 5 years. So, no, 6 years. 6 years since 2017. So, pretty cool. But, oh, and an update. Sam and I's bet, it was a tie. We both had 2 wins and 2 losses this week for the NFL, but Charles has something to say.
Yeah, speaking of that, I was talking with Sam, I think before we filmed with Martin. This is good. You brought this up because I thought about it, and you guys should be allowed to audible your picks, aka you can change them before they start. Because when Sam and I were talking, he was like, I wouldn't have picked the Browns knowing Deshaun Watson was out. So just heads up, for this week, you can audible your picks. Just go ahead and obviously just message the chat or edit your message. So yeah, you can audible. I don't know why we didn't think to do that last time. I should have made a note of that. So go ahead, change your picks as much as you want until before the games start. So yeah.
Hey Sam, what about you?
What was that, Matt?
I said that rule sounds good to me.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that rule too.
I do have to say though, and it was funny. I think it was it Pat McAfee or someone said, for all the Swifties out there, everyone thinks that Zach Wilson is better than Patrick Mahomes if they watched the game on Sunday, which I thought was really funny because, in all honesty, I know we're still in the intro, but in all honesty, though, Zach Wilson did play a little better than Patrick Mahomes, and Charles did say he was eyeing the pool. He was looking.
Bro, you stole my thunder. I was literally going to mention Zach Wilson in the intro and give him props, and you stole it from me. I was hoping you wouldn't go there when you brought up the bet, and then you said Pat McAfee, and then you said Swifties, and then you said Zach Wilson. I was like, no, he's going to say it.
Hey, it's my BYU guy, just like Puka Nacua. He's taking the league by the BYU guys. They're coming. Fred Warner, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't put them together in college, but we're good in the pros. So
I was gonna say before we jump into it, we're gonna do over and underachievers college football edition. Just a spoiler for the first topic. So I wanted to give Zach Wilson props, and I know he's not in college, but I wanted to say for Zach Wilson standards, this past week he was an overachiever, and it was good to see him actually put together a pretty decent game and have them in position to win. So yeah, shout out to Zach Wilson. He made some good throws, and I texted Sam during it and you, Matt. I was like, I've never seen this guy before. Who is this Zach Wilson? So yeah, I'm eyeing the kiddie pool. I'm not in it like Matt, but at least I'm looking at it now.
You're scouting.
I got to see more. It's only one game, but
next up on his list.
Nice.
Next up on his list for Zach, he's just got to get some wins racked up.
Yeah, I mean, technically he doesn't have one, but you can count the Bills game as like a win, even though he didn't start. But because he basically played the whole game, so
pretty much started after 4 snaps. I mean, it pretty much started it.
Yeah.
Hey, that's like the same for like Brock Purdy in his first game. Like he technically doesn't get the start as a win, but he basically came in and after the drive and won. So
all he does is stat pad, man.
Okay, Charlie.
I'm taking a page out of Charlie's book. Just to be a hater.
Well, since we're talking about football, we already have a good little thing going. Let's get into our first segment. Let's do it. Our first segment, I believe, is under and overachievers of the college football season so far, if I'm correct. Is that right, Charles?
That is correct.
Okay.
And this was your idea too, so
Yeah, it was my idea. So I've loving the under and overachievers idea. And so far we've been now, I believe it's 5 games into the college football season. So we're getting close to that halfway mark. Some teams obviously have less, some teams have more because of the bye or not, etc. But we're kind of around that point. So I think it'd be better to talk about some overachievers first and then talk about some underachievers. And I want to start with Sam because Sam always has interesting topics and I don't know what Sam's going to say. So Sam, you go first, Charles, and then myself, and then we can go counterclockwise for underachievers if that's okay. So Sam,
Okay.
let's start with you.
Yeah, so an overachiever for the week, I think, in college football terms, I think there's a few different overachievers in the NFL. But for college football, there's only a couple games that I ended up watching over the weekend, and one was obviously the Colorado game as well. But another game that I thought was very exciting, no other game compared to it that I know of at least, was the Ole Miss LSU game. That was really fun to watch. Jackson Dart, he threw darts all over the field. They came back in nearly the very last minute to beat LSU. It's always a good feeling to see LSU lose. So I was startled for a second. I was seeing Matt like raise his eyebrow.
Well, it's because you said they came back to almost beat LSU, and I was like, wait.
Oh, my bad. My bad. No, they beat LSU. Not that they almost beat
You're saying
LSU.
LSU almost beat Ole Miss at the very end.
Right. Yeah. I think it was a slip of the tongue, but
No,
yeah,
you're good.
no,
I was like, Sam is definitely
oops.
like he watched a game than I did.
Yeah, I broke the script, but yeah, no, it was a pretty exciting game to watch. The oh gosh, the rusher for Ole Miss, I'm gonna pronounce his name wrong, but he was also pretty exciting to watch. He's an electric kid. Quinshawn Judkins, I think that's
Oh,
how you pronounce it. Yeah, he's pretty cool. So I like to see him play.
so do you have an overachieving team or player then, Sam? Or
Um, I
so
was I was gonna say for my answer just Ole Miss, just the
okay.
team. So
Nice.
that's my answer.
Yeah, I'm really happy you didn't take this one because I'm excited for this one because I'm away, obviously, but I get to rep the home state again. I'm gonna go with the Mizzou Tigers.
Oh, okay. I
Five
thought you
and
were gonna say,
zero.
thought you were
Huh?
gonna say Michigan again.
No. Well, they started 2, they're still ranked 2. I don't really think that means they're an overachiever.
Yeah,
Anyways, Mizzou 5 and 0 with Tom Brady Cook,
Tom Brady Cook.
aka sorry, Brady Cook, who Sam, if you remember, he was at the Cardinals game we were at.
He
You remember
was,
that?
yeah,
He answered like some trivia or something
yeah.
because it
It
was
was,
the game we went to was Mizzou night and he was there.
yep.
And so yeah, he's been off to a really nice start and they got a good win over Kansas State and they just went on the road and beat Vanderbilt in their first conference game. They're going to match up with LSU this weekend, so that'll be a fun game. But yeah, shout out to Mizzou. They haven't really had much football success, at least from what I can remember. It's been a while. And so it's nice to see them get off to a good start. And I don't know a team with that much expectation. Now they're ranked. I think they're ranked 20 in the 20s, I think 21. They're ranked 21st. And yeah, 5 and 0. They've looked pretty good on offense. So I'm excited to see how they do. And yeah, I'm gonna go Mizzou, rep the home state.
there you go.
I'm a little shocked you didn't pick them, Sam.
Well, I was gonna save him for a future answer, but I didn't want to save him twice.
For future answer.
Yeah, but it's for a future topic that we have in this podcast
Oh
episode.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I see what you're
What-
saying. I see where you're going.
yeah. What's
Okay.
your overachiever, Matt?
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna get out of the SEC since you guys like the SEC right now. other than like kind of like the obvious answers like Texas and Florida State and stuff, I'm actually going to shift to the conference of two, aka the actual Pac-12, which would be the Pac-2. I'm going with Washington State.
That was that was literally my second answer.
They are overachieving. I was thinking about, okay, who could I do? And I was between either Washington State or Washington, honestly. I mean, even Oregon, I think we could say is overachieving a little bit. I don't think we all thought that they would be this good, especially on like defense, right? But Washington State is 5-0. I believe they're ranked number 13, number 12, something like
You want me
that.
to get you an updated ranking? They are ranked number 13. Yeah.
Okay, I thought they were 13. Which going into the season, do I think any of us would have had them in the top 25? I don't think so. Their QB, Cam Ward, I believe is a transfer from where is he transferred from? Is it IUW? I think it is.
You want me to pull it up for you? I got you.
Yeah, I think it was Indiana University Wesleyan or Western, something like that.
It was. I'm pulling him up right now. I got you, Matt. Don't worry. It was Incarnate Wood.
Oh, Incarnate Word.
Or it just says Word. I don't. Yeah. So.
Yeah, Incarnate Word. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no. So he's been like amazing. I just have to say, if we did over and underachievers of conferences, Pac-12 would be overachieving by a long shot because you have Michael Penix for Washington, so QB Michael Penix. Then you have Caleb Williams, USC, Shadur Sanders, Colorado, Bo Nix, Oregon, DJ Ugalele for Oregon State. Then you have Cam Ward for Washington State, and you haven't even had Cam Rising who plays for Utah. That's like 7 good quarterbacks, and Cam Ward has put up amazing numbers. And their defense, Washington State defense, has been really good. So I'm really excited to see them play. They did beat Oregon State, and obviously Oregon State just beat Utah. So that gives some legitimacy, one, to Oregon State, but also to Washington State, because Utah is back-to-back Pac-12 champs these past 2 years. So for our next segment, for sure, not the undertiers, but for the next one, there are some Pac-12 stuff that we'll get into for sure. But Washington State is definitely an overachiever, but I think they're for real. I do think they are for real. I think they have good players. They're doing the right stuff. It'll be an exciting last half of the season for them, for sure.
Like we talked about a little bit, we obviously have, I would say, kind of the big three in the Pac-12 this year when you look at them. You have Oregon, you have Washington, and then USC. But you and I both agreed, and I told you this, we think Washington State is a sneaky four and that they could win the Pac-12. So I'm totally with you on them. I've really liked what they've done this year. And like I told you, that was literally my number 2 answer. So you and I were thinking the same thing.
They can, definitely. I did not have them as one of my picks, but they can. They've surprised me.
Okay, Sam. Better wake up, bro.
And I did say that I was gonna do my underachiever first, but because I haven't heard from Sam, we're gonna do Sam again. We're just gonna do
me.
little round.
Man.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna have to pull my underachiever up real quick. I wasn't prepared to go first.
Nice. He's got something pulled up.
Okay, well, so underachiever, I'm gonna kind of go a little backwards on this. I'm gonna pick Georgia as my underachiever. This is a little bit of a spicier take because they still won last week. But the main reason why I choose them as my underachiever is because they only beat Auburn by 7 points. I believe Auburn is probably the worst team in their conference. They do not look great. Thorne, their QB, he went 10 for 19 with 1 interception. That's like a Sam Cook stat line in the Backyard Football League. That's not very good. So I'm surprised. I mean, this isn't a Georgia how it was last year where they're dominant with Stetson Bennett, but I would expect them to be, if they're the number 1 team in the AP poll, I would expect them to blow teams like Auburn out by at least 20. So only beating them by 7 is kind of an underachievement, I think.
Oh, okay. I see you.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a spicy take. I think they've underperformed for the ranking.
Yeah,
would
they
have
did.
with Sam. I do think they are underperforming for their ranking. First big test, escape with the win, and honestly, they shouldn't have won that game.
Mm-hmm.
It was only because of Brock Bowers, their tight end. But I think you're right, because even Kirby Smart said, "Yeah, we played like crap." I mean that's pretty much what he said. Like, there's a lot we can fix up. So it might be a spicy take, but I don't really think it's that spicy. I definitely think there's some questions now of, is Georgia really that number one, or are we just giving them number one because they've won the past 2 years?
Yeah, because they were so dominant.
I think, Sam, I think that was a good take.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Good job, Sam.
Thanks. That's what I'm here for.
You want me to go, Matt? Okay.
He's all deciding.
Yeah. So this one was a tough one to pick. I'm gonna go a little bit of a different route as well, I would say. I'm gonna go, and I said this, I think I mentioned this at least once in previous episodes, my, I guess, lack of displeasure with the performance here, but I'm gonna go the whole Big Ten as a conference.
Whoa, the entire Big Ten.
Now, yes, they have Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, all national contenders, which makes them look better. Maryland's 5-0. I know that, but they lost a lot. A lot of the teams lost a lot of the non-conference games, and the Big Ten just looks sloppy this year. A lot of those teams, especially the West and the Big Ten, it just doesn't look as good as years past. I don't think they're that strong of a conference. And I feel like they've been a little bit on the decline. Like, even last year, I felt like it wasn't too great outside of those top teams like Michigan. So I'm going to go with the Big Ten. I expect a little more from them, honestly. I mean, maybe not how the Pac-12 is this year, but I expect close to that with a conference like that. And so I'm going to go Big Ten. It's not up to the standards I think of when I think of Big Ten football this year. So
Charles is not happy with the Big Ten.
I mean, they have those 3 teams that cover up kind of the blemish of the rest of the conference, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with you. They always have star-studded teams that kind of get the media attention and not show like the worst teams in the Big Ten, because they usually end up being terrible teams too. So I think it's a good pick. They all did lose too.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, but conference-wise, though, I mean, honestly, I might even put the SEC as a underperforming one too.
Honestly, yeah.
Honestly, I mean, it's kind of weird to see that, like, pretty much the 2 best conferences is pretty much like the Big 12 and Pac-12. Like, those are kind of like the best ones right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but for my underachieving team, man, there's a couple I could pick. And I'm just thinking, because there's 2, and I couldn't really only say one. I guess I can say 2, right?
I mean, 2 is better than 1.
Okay.
As the song goes.
Yeah, okay. So my first underachieving team, I'm going to stay in the SEC, and I'm going to go with Alabama. They're a pretty underachieving team. You would think they'd be better than what they are for what they have. I think Ole Miss could have beat them the week before. I think if it was at Ole Miss instead of Alabama, I think they would have won, honestly. Ole Miss just kind of made some dumb mistakes to let Alabama still in the game, and that's kind of why that happened that way. But I mean, they underperformed against Texas, barely beat USF. I mean, literally had to like win in the last quarter. You have a quarterback controversy where all the 2 quarterbacks, they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll play you guys. They sucked." And then I think you should have kept Milroe the whole time because he's the most athletic, gives you the best shot. And they're like, I don't know. So to me, for sure, Alabama has been one of those teams that have been underperforming. But my underperforming team has been has been TCU, honestly. And the reason why I say TCU is because I know they lost a lot of guys because of the college football playoff and all that stuff, but they did get some transfers in, all this kind of stuff. And they're 3-2. They lost to a Colorado team who's good. I'll give them that. Colorado was good. Obviously, USC almost lost to them, right? So that's a good loss. But then they just lost to a West Virginia team with a backup, and they missed 3 field goals, could have won the game. So it's like you're 3-2. You're definitely out of the college football playoff. You're kind of now like, okay, like, right? So there's one of them. But I guess the most disappointing, Oklahoma State. They freaking suck. I think they lost to an FCS team, I think, this year. Sorry, I'm giving you like 3 teams that are underachievers. That's on me. Yeah, Oklahoma State, I think, is my number one, where it's like their 2 losses they have are like terrible, and their 2 wins are like, eh. So it's like, how did you go from like top 25, no one wants to play us, to they're like, oh, looks like a win on the schedule, you know? So I know I did 3, but those are the teams I think are underachieving for me personally.
Okay, I like it, Matt. TCU was on my radar as well. So another one where you and I were thinking the same way. So
There we go.
yeah.
Well, since I guess I've been the moderator for this thing, I'll keep going, and we'll
Thank
move
you.
on to the games we're most excited for the rest of the season. This is not the last time we'll talk about college football, but because we're halfway through the season, now there are some games on the schedule that mean a little bit more than maybe what they would have been, or they still mean the same, and we want to talk about them. So I think let's each give about 1 or 2 games, maybe 3, depending on what you guys want to do. And let's keep the same order. Sam, let's go you first. And obviously, if games overlap, that's totally fine. You can just say, hey, yeah, I agree with that. But Sam will go with you, and then Charles, and then myself.
Okay, well, I like to enjoy the moment. So I immediately thought, kind of like Charles, Mizzou is doing so much better than I thought they were going to this year. I thought they were going to suck after they lost Drew Lock. Not that he's even the greatest quarterback either, but Tom Brady Cook, yeah, he's definitely stepped it up. And last week was an awesome win. Seeing them get that, I believe it's a 60-yard no. Was it a 60-yard field goal to win it? It was something around that.
It was a 60 or 61-yard field goal.
Yeah, it was like 61.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome to watch. But no, LSU is a pretty great team. And I think it's gonna be a pretty fun matchup next week. So my personal pick would be the Tigers and LSU Tigers next week too. The battle of the superior Tiger group.
Mm-hmm.
I originally thought we were only gonna pick which is the most exciting game for next week. I haven't looked that far ahead yet, but if Mizzou can keep the hype train going, then I'm all for it. If I was a betting man, I would not have bet that they would start the season 5-0. I'm not like MattyB Bets. I can't make those.
Mm-hmm. All right, let me get a couple of these out of the way, and then I'll give some specific ones. Any of the Pac-12,
and Charles is going to take a lot of mine, so it's okay.
Any of those Pac-12 high-profile matchups between those top 6 teams, Utah, Oregon State, Washington, USC, any of those games, sign me up. I'm in. And also, obviously being here in Michigan, Ohio State, and Michigan, Penn State, the battle between those top 3, any of those games, I'm in. But I'm going to go a little more specific. So I actually have one from I have a couple that actually come up this week, and that's not even coincidence. So I'm going to start first I'm going to go to the Big 12. I'm going to go Texas and Oklahoma. Because I will admit, Oklahoma's actually been playing pretty good too. And obviously we know Texas, we are high on Texas. We think they're going to make it to the CFP. So this will be a real tough challenge for them. And I'm excited to watch that. I mean, if Texas obviously handles Oklahoma easily, then I'm pretty confident that they are going to make the playoffs. But I don't know. This is going to be a good game, so I'm excited for that one.
You don't think BYU can beat Texas?
I saw that one on the agenda or the schedule, and I almost put that as one of them. I was really, really close. I was like, man, BYU Texas could be a shootout.
You couldn't put any BYU game on this right now.
So
Stay
yeah,
away.
I could see BYU scoring about, I don't know,
3.
17 against Texas
Oh,
if they're
I was gonna
lucky.
That's better than
Wasn't-
nothing.
But
Yeah, I can see Texas scoring like 50 plus.
yeah,
But anyways,
You lose by
all right.
40.
So my other game, it's actually this week, Saturday, October 7th. It is Missouri State versus North Dakota State.
Whoa.
North Dakota
Hometown.
State is
There
ranked
you go.
8th in the FCS. And so it's
Yeah.
at home. And that's why I'm saying that, because Sam could go to that game if he wanted to. Now, Missouri State kind of sucks. Actually, I don't think they're that bad because they played Southern Illinois pretty tough, and Southern Illinois is ranked like 5th in FCS. So I don't think Missouri State's necessarily a pushover. So anytime you have a chance to upset ranked competition like that, I'm
That's
in. And
true.
I got to rep Missouri State. Plus, they also play at South Dakota State to end the year, who's ranked number 1 unanimously in the FCS. Not
Hmm.
saying they're going to win, but I'm just keeping an eye out for those because that's my college, man.
Yeah.
Love Missouri
Probably not,
State.
but yeah.
Had to throw them in on here.
I think I might. I don't know.
Yeah, they play them this weekend, Sam. You could
This
definitely look
weekend?
into going to it.
I know. So my grandparents both graduated from Missouri State, and they really wanted to go to one game in the Missouri State season. Whatever week is a homecoming week, I think that's the game I'm going to go to. I don't know if that's
I
next
couldn't
week
tell
or
you,
the week
man. I'm
after.
not
Yeah,
college anymore.
I don't really know. I very loosely follow Missouri State football just because they've been kind of mediocre for a long time. They did make the playoffs last year, but they lost
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
That was a fun season, by the way. I was following them, and it was that
Brilliant.
we lost in the by like it was that playoff game was sucked, honestly, because we had a lead, I believe, and then there was like 2 turnovers in the 4th, and we lost it. And we lost the game. Yeah, it sucked.
I do remember during that playoff game, I was working, and I was working at a gym where all like there's a bunch of treadmills and TVs, and I put all the TVs on to watch that game too, and it was disappointing. But I will say Missouri State peaked when we had Isaiah Mosley and Jared Ritter. When we lost them, we were downhill.
That's the wrong sport, but all right.
I
hear
know
ya.
it's a
Hey, that was a good year for Missouri State Athletics. That was the same year of that basketball team, and that was also a heartbreaker, which Matt watched with me basically. So
yeah.
but we don't need to talk about that. That was in the past, man. I'm not focused on the past.
You're right.
Go, Matt. What do you got for us?
Oh, okay, awesome. Charles definitely saw the big game this weekend that I'm most excited for, which is the Red River rivalry, Texas versus Oklahoma. I'm actually huge on Texas right now. I just like the way they play. Steve Sarkisian was a quarterback at BYU, so I've always kind of rooted for Sarkisian. That's why it was hard for me when he was at Alabama, because I was like, yeah, I don't like Alabama. But now that he's at Texas, me and my dad kind of root for him like a lot more now. So I'm really hoping they win. A couple of games on the schedule that I'm super excited for is Oregon and Washington. Will be not this week, but next week, I believe, the 14th. That game is going to be really good. Oregon, Utah will also be good. That's actually played here at Utah, which is really cool. I don't think I'm going
to go to it. Oh, you're not?
The tickets are like $150, $200 maybe, I think, something like that. But I don't know. Maybe it would be cool. It would be fun to go, whack, whack, with all the, all my little Oregon Duck fans. But I think for me, some of the fun games coming up, I think Notre Dame USC will be a good game. That will be a CFP game for sure. You also have Florida State and Miami, because Miami is ranked as well, I believe. Isn't that right, Charles? I think they're number 17 or 16.
Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me pull it up for you.
I believe they're 16 or 15.
17.
17, okay. Which I think they should be good against Florida State. That game, it's in the Sunshine State, always good. So I think that one will be good. So you have Florida State, Miami. You have USC, Notre Dame, Oregon, Washington, or Oregon, USC. All those things. And then of course the game I'm most excited for, the 2 games, is Michigan, Penn State. and Michigan, Ohio State. Those are the 2 games every year I circle, and I'm like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm going to try to watch this game start to finish, even if it makes me cry. So for me, those are the games that I'm like way excited for. So yeah, I mean, and it's I guess I'm excited too because for BYU and Oklahoma, just because Oklahoma comes to BYU in November, so they come to Provo in November, so that game is going to be cold probably, and I'm actually going to be working the game for that, and so I think that'll be a fun experience because they're kind of one of the bigger brands, in the nation. So
What do you mean by working the game?
Yeah, I was intrigued by that too.
oh yeah, so I actually work all the BYU home games. I do like the VIP tent stuff, so I help like make sure the VIP tent is clean and everything like that. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That's cool.
I'll show you. I have a little pass from this weekend whenever BYU played Cincinnati. But yeah,
Oh, that's
so
awesome. I
yeah,
didn't know you did that.
so I'm able to like
Matt's hiding stuff
work.
from us.
Yeah, that's
And
really cool.
if I wanted to, I could go inside the stadium and just kind of like
Hang out.
hang out if I really wanted to. Even
Dang,
though that's
awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's like a
I'm
press
happy for you.
pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty much.
That
So
needs
it's
to be
still
me at
official.
Michigan, bro. That needs to be me right
Yeah, you need
Michigan.
to walk into Michigan sometime and be
Hey,
like, I need to work. I need to work for
hey,
you.
like I remember what Sam said. I remember talking about it once. I think we weren't recording, and we were talking about the Michigan Ohio State game. How much we'd love to go, but it's $400. And Sam was like, $400 for a game, and we're just like, it's not just a game; it's the game. So
The game.
Matt's gonna make sure he's watching that.
It is the game. I do also have to say the reason why I am excited for BYU Oklahoma is because the last time we played Oklahoma was whenever Sam Bradford was at Oklahoma and BYU beat Oklahoma and they were the number 3 team in the nation. That's whenever BYU actually broke his collarbone. So that was that game. And I believe it was 14-13 was the score. So who knows? And, if Oklahoma's only loss is to Texas, right, they'll probably still be ranked. And, it looks like BYU actually isn't that bad right now for the Big 12. So it will be interesting to see if they can beat TCU, which hopefully they do, loss against Texas, and then probably win all the other games except for Oklahoma. So it could be interesting, but
Yep.
we'll see. So
Yeah, we will see.
Good stuff, man. I think it's time for MattyB Bets. I'll take over as the moderator here because this is Matt's segment, which Sam and I do not know what he has planned, but he's going to give us some bets he likes from, I guess, wherever. Go ahead, Matt. Take it away.
Take it away, Matt.
Give us what you're thinking.
You're okay. Sorry, I have to look. I had it on my iPad, and I need to find it on my phone real quick.
Ooh.
Well,
Sam and I can, I guess, blabber about something while we wait.
Yeah. To pass the time, we can come up with something.
Hold on.
Well, I was looking at the D-backs game right now, and the bases are loaded for the Brewers in the bottom of the 5th.
Oh no.
4-3. So we'll see what happens there.
Outs though.
0.
Yikes. Okay. Eek.
I'm just really happy that the Rangers won today because they played the Rays earlier today and they shut them out. It was surprising, but it was awesome to watch.
So, I've now found my bets, and we are going to be going through college football bets.
Ooh.
Yes. So, there are a couple top 25 that I think would be good. First, you have Ohio State and Maryland. Maryland is at Ohio State. The spread is -19 towards Ohio State. I say take the spread with Maryland. I think it'll be a closer game. I think Ohio State wins by a touchdown, but take the spread. So, that That is at, let's see what I would do for me. Oh no, I don't want to download. It's at plus 19.5. Minus 105 is the money line, it looks like. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is. Anyways, people can just figure out how much money it is, whatever. It's on FanDuel. That's what I'm using. So you can go take a look, take a gander. The other one, there's 3 games that I liked. Those were actually 4 games that I liked. So the next game is Sam's game of the week, LSU and Mizzou. It looks like Mizzou is a underdog at plus 6.5, I believe, because plus 6.5 means you're the dog, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I say take the points and Mizzou to win. I think Mizzou wins the game. Yep.
Oh, okay, I like it.
Okay, then you have Oklahoma at Texas, which obviously it's neutral, so it's really not like home field advantage. It's a minus 6.5. I say take Texas and the 6.5. I think they win by 10. I think Texas wins by 10, keeps it close to the very end, but wins by 10. Then we have the 4th game is Kentucky and Georgia. So Kentucky is at Georgia, and they've looked pretty good. Number 20 versus number 1. Georgia is a 14.5-point favorite. Don't buy into it. I don't think the Georgia we know from the past 2 years is the Georgia this year. And I think Kentucky looked good against Florida. Granted, Florida did lay a stinker against Tennessee. However, Florida has played Utah, right, who's pretty good, played Tennessee. So I do think that Kentucky's better than people think. I think Georgia gets upset this week. I think Kentucky beats them and take the points.
Really?
Mm.
Wow.
Yes. Bold prediction of the week. That is my bold prediction. Do I
That
really
would make, yeah,
I don't know.
that
But
would make for a pretty big upset.
it would make for a good upset, and it makes for some good popcorn material for this podcast. So I'm going to say
It does. Yep.
So now we go to the national championship, and I'll give you a couple teams that I am liking. Maybe you take a flyer on. Michigan right now is at plus 400. Pencil me in. Plus 400. Pencil me in.
Yeah. Okay.
Texas is at plus 750. If they beat Oklahoma, which I think put your money on it now, but if they beat Oklahoma, that would be a good one. If you want to say, you know what, I'll put $100 down and get 750. Okay, whatever, right? That's a good one to do. If you want to take one that pays out a little bit more, someone a little frisky, a little fun, I think you can take either of these teams. They're both in the Pac-12. One of them is Charles's team. One of them is my team. Sam, can you guess who they are?
Well, initially, what sparked my brain, I immediately went to Colorado.
Ooh, nope. No. I said Charles' team and my team.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I know that's why I was probably wrong. Washington State?
Nope, not Washington
No.
State, but
Just Washington? Okay.
Washington Charles' team. They're
Yeah.
at plus 1,500. I think they could be
Wait,
a
you said-
sleeper.
Plus what? Sorry.
1,500.
Wow, that's pretty low.
Yeah, that's pretty. So if you bet $100, you get 1,500. So Washington right now looks pretty good. I say maybe put a flyer on them. And then you have one other Pac-12 team. That's my team. Who is it, Sam?
Quack quack.
Well, Charles just gave it away, Oregon.
You weren't gonna answer.
I
can
was.
tell.
You just
I
had
can
to give me a
tell.
second to think about it.
So
can
Oregon.
I had to put in my mind like every Pac-12 team, not named Colorado.
So Oregon also has the same odds as Washington at plus 1,500. So obviously one of those teams might have less odds once they play each other, of course. But I do think that both of those teams are good to take. I mean, plus 1,500, put $100 down. Even if you want to put $10 down, you win 150, right? I mean, pretty easy there, right? I mean, and that's to win. That's for national championship. Let's see here. there's a ton of teams here. For the college football playoff, I think it's hard, but any of the Pac-12 teams, you have Washington, USC, Oregon at plus 340. I think you bet one of those. If you do $10 on each of those, one of those teams is going to get in. Probably. Granted, in my model, it was not in, but in every other one it was. So, be interesting. I think that would be very interesting as well. But, and then the Heisman race, I really think there's about 5. There's only 4 people that could really win it. There are quarterbacks. You have Caleb Williams from USC, Michael Penix Jr., Washington, Bo Nix, Oregon, and Quinn Ewers from Texas. Ewers is at plus 900, and so is Bo Nix at 900. I think if Ewers takes them to the CFB, he's your Heisman favorite because people love Texas. That's your guy. I say put your money on him. But Michael Penix is at 380, and Williams is at plus 170. So you can still make a little money here and there. But if Texas does make the playoffs, which I think they will, I think Ewers is your Heisman Trophy winner. So
I like that.
for me, that is all I have for MattyB Bets. I know that was a lot in the little segment, but
Did you
that's what
are you able to like send that to me also for a reference, or will we have to watch the tape again to write it down?
Oh, I didn't write it down. I was just going
Well,
off.
okay, so I'll have to watch the tape. I'll have to watch
The
it,
tape.
review the tape, film study, and write down your.
Charles,
I think
don't- Do it.
honestly though, like I like your picks. I just think, of course, I know you said take flyers on some low odds. I think betting any Pac-12 is just really difficult because of how we talked about how much they have the ability to beat each other up. So you really just don't know. So the Pac-12 is really, really risky to gamble on, but at the same time, kind of safe because one of those Pac-12 teams or players might come out, but it's like, which one? Maybe just bet on the whole Pac-12, So
Yeah.
because like it's there's just so many good teams,
And like I said, if you like, right, if you're like, okay, any of those Pac-12 teams, right, it's plus 340. If you put, $10 in, you win 34, I think is what it is. So
What is real quick, just because this is kind of our team, what's Washington State at for CFP?
oh, Washington State. Oh, for CFP. Okay.
Yeah.
For CFP, Washington State is at plus 1200.
Ooh, that might be a good pick.
They've kind of been my like sneaky team, honestly, but
So CFB is that if you want them to win a national championship, which would be pretty cool because Mike Leach, all that kind of stuff, right? It is at plus 10,000.
Ooh,
wow. Not a bad little gamble there, honestly. It's a huge
I mean,
payout.
you put in $10 on, you win $1,000. So if you're just like, man, I have $10 that it's like, hey, Taco Bell or put it on Washington State. I'll put on Washington State, whatever, right? So
I don't know about that compared to Taco Bell.
I mean,
$10 goes a long way in Taco Bell, Matt.
Oh, I know it does go a long way. I'm just saying, if you really feel that Washington State is your team, but don't want to give up, a lot of money, you can say, you know what, $10 Taco Bell, we'll go $10.
That's true. I'm just giving you crap.
All right, sweet. Real quick, also before we wrap it up, I just want to say the D-backs got out of the jam with no runs.
Ooh,
Let's go, boys. That
that's
makes
good
me
for Matt. Yeah,
Let's
Still
go.
4-3.
I saw too. Corbin Carroll hit a bomb
Hit
early
a
in
bomb.
the game
Two
too.
run, boys.
And
Yeah.
also, I just wanted to real quick. I started with Zach Wilson. I'm going to loop back to him. This is just a fun fact I wanted to state.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. Before you do your fun fact, just because I want to just get one more D-backs thing, I just want to say ESPN, only 3 people picked the Diamondbacks to beat the Brewers. If the Diamondbacks beat the Brewers, which I really hope they do, watch out. The snakes are coming. The snakes are coming.
He's got a grudge on ESPN now.
The snakes
Hey,
are coming.
too much T Swift, baby. Too much T Swift.
All right, here's my
Right.
Zach Wilson fun fact. So
Oh no.
Zach Wilson in this past game against the Chiefs, he threw for 2 touchdowns with no interceptions. Now, I just want to say, the last time that Zach Wilson has thrown for multiple touchdowns with no turnovers. You ready for this?
He was at BYU.
This is you're ruining the suspense. Yeah, the last
Oh.
time he did it was against the University of Central Florida.
Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah,
the first time he's ever done it in the NFL.
yeah. It
All
was
right, and
crazy
I
to
stole that from First Things First because I remember it was Wilds, I think, was like when they were talking about it. This was, I think, after the Cowboys game or something. He was like, the last time Zach Wilson threw for multiple touchdowns with no interceptions was against South Florida. And I just thought it was really funny. So I just wanted to say that. So congrats
it's
to him.
crazy to think when you told me that too the first time. I didn't believe you. But I mean, I could see it with Zach Wilson. I could see it.
Good stuff. All right, now we're ready for the outro. I vote Sam.
I also vote Sam.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching yet again. This has been a Win is a Win podcast, episode 35. That is halfway to 70. That's a big number. That's all I have to say about 70. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. The next episode that we have planned in the next few days is going to be a fun one as well. So we're going to look forward to it. So stay tuned. We've got a lot of fun things coming down the pipeline. And yeah, that's all we have. Boys, any final thoughts? And
Go
addition
D-backs.
to final thoughts that you already had?
Go fantasy, my fantasy football team.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Pros play this week. Let's go.
We made a pact to not talk about fantasy football anymore. At least I don't want to talk about fantasy football anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, go D-backs. Let's
I have
go.
not had fun. Yeah, sure. Go D-backs, go Rangers, go everybody. It's a fun wild card. But yep, this is all of
Peace.
us signing out. See you guys later.